Hello everyone, I hope you're doing good. Welcome back to stream. My name is Daz, my pronouns are they them. Today we will be continuing the Fontaine story quest in Genshin Impact. Also, I hope you like my makeup. I put fancy glitter on my face. I love that it's like no one is allowed in or out the opera epiclairs, and it's like, I left. Okay, let's go see how Lyney's doing.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
Is the dialogue an
You've
okay,
arrived.
I was about to say temperature,
who's
I meant
this?
volume.
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower. Sorry, I got a little
I
carried
love her
away
design
there.
so much.
Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and will be helping investigate this whole situation. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine by me.
Oh,
A little
new
loud
helpers?
compared to me.
I would be most grateful.
Okay, I can turn it down a little bit.
Well, let's just say
Hopefully
we're
that's a bit
tagging
better.
along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Okay, was that an okay difference? You can still hear them.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switcheroo trick.
Ooh.
But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here?
Now you can hear me. That's good. Thank you, babe.
I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
Weren't there balloons and other decorations here? Where did all that go?
She has a good point.
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back of the door isn't the same.
The back? You mean the inside?
I forgot
of the door?
Paimon was wearing this
What's
stupid
different about it?
glasses
I didn't
combo.
notice anything.
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be
She
able
picked
to
them
catch
up
that,
last time.
given
She
that you were
thinks they
sitting in
make
the
her
first
look
row.
like a
The
detective.
back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put two and two together, what do you get?
Wait, does that mean there's another box inside this one?
Exactly. Alright, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
I think it's less that she's in disguise and more that she's trying to give off a detective vibe.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah, because at the end of the story bit last time, if you missed it, basically Lyney and Lynette were going to do this massive magic trick where they swap places in the two boxes. Well, Lyney and a volunteer from the audience, and the swap happened, but the box that the girl was meant to pop out of got crushed by a giant chunk of water, and she disappeared, and it killed one of their helpers, so they are now being investigated. This passage linked the two boxes together.
I knew
There
you'd
was a
figure out
straight-up
most of
murder,
it
yeah.
As soon as you saw this place. The two magic boxes are positioned right above the two entrances of the tunnel. See this flatbed trolley?
Oh,
The
that's
box
probably
with
how
the
they...
lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side
so
using
fast,
the
yeah.
trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
Yeah, you don't get on-screen deaths very often, to be honest.
So
It was a bit
what's the
shocking.
purpose of the box inside another box?
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing had ever changed.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Oh, so that's... Oh, of course the audience member wouldn't know what's going on. Then what about your side of the trick?
Right. You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end.
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect.
Oh.
My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting.
That's how we were able to coordinate Lyney's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
Oh.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
That's pretty cool.
So that's how it all worked. Wow. Every detail you revealed was more amazing than the last.
I can tell a lot of thought was put into this.
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have
The
been
teardrop
an
was there
astonishing
before, but
trick.
also he didn't do it on
I probably never would have
purpose.
figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Lyney and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course.
I like
no need to
Navia
be
as
so
well, she's
strict
very
now.
cool.
I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
We'll do our best. I'm fairly certain you didn't do any murder. Okay. Lyney gave a detailed account of how the trick was supposed to work by using a box inside a box. The idea was for the box containing the audience member to be transported across via a tunnel underneath, and Lyney himself would also use this tunnel to get to the other side. Meanwhile, having changed her outfit, Lynette and her assistant would take charge of on-stage interactions. And then the box and things. Lyney did not murder. It was it was his friend. I don't think Lyney murdered him. Okay, we understand how all the boxes work now. Okay, I get to do the cool examining thing. Oh, feels very Danganronpa. I'm gonna turn auto off because it will make me go way too fast otherwise. This should be the control device for the trolley. It seems to be able to operate automatically. Okay. Ladder. A ladder is required in order to return to the magic box above. Yeah, I know. Already looked at that.
What's this?
Looks like a hook tied
It's a grappling
to
hook.
the end of a rope. Huh? There's all kinds of odds and ends here.
Lyney didn't mention this earlier.
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick. But why would it have been left here?
Whatever it is, let's make a note of it first.
Mm-hmm. Dropped hook rope.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why would there be water here?
I mean, there was a giant water tank also involved in tricks, but I think that was stored in the rafters. Maybe it was for a trick.
Oh, Paimon knows. It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and then flip the jug over only for the water to disappear. And Here's a broken vase. Huh.
It looks like there was a
Did the
struggle,
trolley knock it down while moving?
which, considering they think that the
That
girl might have
can't
been
be.
taken by the
Trolley moves along
person who
tracks
did
from
the
start to
missing
finish.
girl's
It
incident.
couldn't have hit the vase at this distance.
Let's note this down too and think about it later.
Yeah, it's definitely, to me, just reading is signs of a struggle.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right?
What?
Clothes are here.
Why is she naked?
She's nowhere to be found.
Lyney didn't mention it, the guest having a wardrobe change.
Right. And do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping them? Ugh, this is so confusing. Hannah doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
The clothes belonging to Halsey, the lady who went missing, were found in the tunnel. The tracks. Yeah, she's called Halsey. I was like, the singer Halsey. High precision is required to complete this magic show, and tracks are perfect for making the trolley stay on its designated course. Okay, now what? Did I miss something? Oh, there's more stuff over here. I was just not in range. All kinds of props and costumes are haphazardly stuffed inside. Okay, not important. What about these nice dresses? Oh, that looks exactly like what she was wearing. The trolley is crucial for transporting the magic box to the other side. It's not gonna... Okay, I don't get to investigate the costumes, even though one of them looks very similar. Event! That's a bit sus.
What is this place?
Looks like event.
It seems someone could fit through here.
Could this have been the suspect's escape route?
Suspect.
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them, this space would be too narrow.
But there are no other ways in or out of here.
Other than those that go through the magic boxes. And Lyney and Lynette were in the 2 magic boxes.
Oh, you're right. Let Paimon write that down. Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes. Let's head back up.
I don't know why all of the music in Fontaine has a vague, like, Animal Crossing vibe to it. Animal Crossing isn't particularly French.
Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malouse returns.
Oh, there's a
Seems
big
to
dog
me
outside.
that there are several things that don't add up here.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement.
Can't we look in the
The
basement?
guards have checked the area carefully.
okay.
No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
Interesting.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
It would seem so. I honestly was quite
things.
shocked to find out in the last
Halsey's
episode
disappearance
that
and Cowell's death
Paimon can read.
are both quite inexplicable. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Lyney and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the oratrice will hear statements from both sides.
The oratrice will too.
That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the oratrice. To put it simply, it's as if the oratrice has its own will, and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. And not that this has ever happened anyway.
Fascinating indeed.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the Oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the Oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides?
So the Oratrice decides, but the Oratrice was made by the
In practice, there is
Archon.
very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment, which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice. Ah, yes, the guards also asked me to convey
I
that
like
none
the
of
Chief
us
Justice
will be allowed
Novelette
to leave
as
this
well.
place before the trial.
I thought I wouldn't like him because he seemed a bit evil, but I think he's
Because
pretty
we've
chill
chosen to
actually.
act as the twins'
Mostly I think
proxies,
he's not human.
That makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa, whoa! There's no need for that! Paimon thinks they have a point. That said, are they providing food?
Of course.
Of course,
I
that's
just
all she
hope
cares
you don't
about.
mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
Now's not the time to be picky.
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts, too. I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Correct. This is the correct
Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after
decision.
all.
Paimon.
Just kidding, just kidding. Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
Will she have enough brain power though?
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Huh?
Navia appreciates
Ow.
the importance of snacks.
Understood, mademoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Oh yes, let me do some cooking. I got a bunch of new Fontaine recipes and I want to try them. One of them is garlic baguette.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Oh my god.
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
This guy is a good member
I
of
have
staff.
eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
He's ready to make some macarons.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snacks soon enough.
These three are quite the interesting group.
Must be a Spina de Rasula thing. Navia methodically handles the ingredients and pulls fresh macarons out of the oven in short order.
And Paimon
Oh,
does
they're so
not good while
cute.
it was still in the oven. Oh, it's even better now. Paimon can't stop drooling. From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process. But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself. Beating the egg whites, grinding
She made
almonds,
her own almond
everything.
flour? I don't have
I
my
was
flapjack,
applauding.
no. I
And
left
I
it
was giving encouraging
and I don't
smiles.
want to try and escape because of the Uno. That's not quite what Paimon meant, but okay.
Paimon was just thinking. Aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty beating egg whites and baking like this?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy making snacks.
I want her to open
don't
her own
underestimate beating egg
bakery.
whites, by the
That
way.
would be so
It's
cute.
a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack. Anyway, give
I
this
really
a try.
like Navia.
Fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Only 3?
Oh my god, Paimon.
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
This is true.
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite. Strong black tea with a floral fragrance that clears the mind and lifts the spirit.
Thank you. Why don't you take a break as well?
No need for concern. I'm merely doing as I should.
Oh, bless him.
All right then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber.
I don't know what she means by
However,
secret chamber.
we can assume that Lyney and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
So, apart from the twins, we're left with two other people, the missing girl and the deceased.
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel.
Yeah, I thought there was a
resulting in
struggle.
the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
There's no evidence that this third person even exists. Yeah, because security cameras aren't a thing in this
None of the
universe.
clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims, whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowl.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowl before making her escape?
But she had no way of knowing how the magic trick worked.
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guards said that she has never had any dealings with the magic troop's members.
Were we not thorough enough in our search?
We searched
From the
basically
sound of things,
everywhere.
this is turning into an impossible case. Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great! They're nice and crisp and super sweet.
They are my specialty after all. And
How
I
has
see
Paimon had
you've
5?
already had 5 of them.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3, honest.
Paimon can't count. Confirmed.
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count.
Paimon doesn't know how to count.
Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough.
It's fine, if you ate them, you ate them.
Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? How could you? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach.
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten
This
too
seems
engrossed
like
in
it
our
might
chat
be
and eaten
relevant.
them by mistake. No big deal.
Secret disappearing
Set
macarons.
up the stove again, if you would.
Huh? What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Oh, there's really no need to do that.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
The like,
I
wipes
have
are
the
so
egg,
funny.
sugar, and almonds.
Well, this really is your hobby, huh?
Navi does a second round of baking over the 2 missing macarons, however the discussion that follows does not yield much
Well,
progress.
that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the 2 of you think the case over again.
I can't believe we volunteered to be their
It would
attorneys.
be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
Alright, thanks for your help.
I wish we could contact Yanfei. Like, I know she mostly just knows leeway law, but she might have some
It
knowledge
was
of
nothing.
foreign law.
A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
I want to know what the Spina de Rosula is. Because it seems like the mafia. Okay. Probability of a third person being involved. Neither Cal nor... I've lost my stem toy. Here we go. Neither Cal nor Halsey had a motive, but after talking to Navia, the likelihood of a third person being involved seems very low too. Now what do we do? Wait until the following day.
Put our heads together.
We just have to
Gotta
do
get
the
votes
trial.
ready for the trial.
Oh my god.
Oh, It's probably gonna be a long and difficult case. There's no point in worrying about that now. We just need to prepare. Here, take Paimon's notes. They should help you review the situation. What do we do? The whole situation is so confusing.
I do have some thoughts, but let's take it step by step. What thoughts do you have, Lumine? I have no thoughts.
We'll get to the truth one way or another.
I have
Just
zero
relax.
thoughts.
Even if everyone else suspects Lyney and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands. Besides, I doubt Fiona understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
Best of luck to you.
I want to consult the evidence. So we have the investigation report, the special rope that had the what's it called, spark paper in it, the tampered random number selector. I have no idea who did it. I really don't know. I thought for ages that the person who got kidnapped, Halsey, I thought she was this petty thief from the beginning because she had the same character model, but I don't know if she was the same person or if it was just the same character model, because they said that she was an artist and she didn't know any of the people, but because I thought that's why Lyney would pick her, because he was trying to like play a trick on her because he wanted to catch her stealing, but then it all went wrong, so I don't really know. Broken vase, young lady's clothes, entrances and exits, the boxes. I'm missing a piece of evidence? How am I meant to get this then? I checked everything. Okay. Like, the Archon didn't do it either because she was in the room.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
Maybe it was someone
To be
involved in the
honest,
Fatui.
You might be disappointed.
Because we do know that they're in town.
No.
'Cause we met
We're
up with
already
Child.
very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well now, don't you all look
my God.
disappointed. Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed. That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
She's so annoying, but in like a really fun way, and Fiona really wants to defeat the Traveler for some reason, I think because we like showed her up, and Lyney helped us to show her up, so I guess that's why, but like she's the Hydro Archon and she's being super petty. Just you wait.
Since both parties are present, I
Ottoman.
declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session.
There's like no
Firstly,
one here.
in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Lyney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Oh, you haven't seen Neuvillette yet? Yeah, he's pretty. Lyney clearly reveals the details of the magic trip. Everyone in the audience is stunned.
Thank you, Mr. Lyney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Fiona, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do.
She's so close to the
Allow
camera.
me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Lyney is clearly lying.
What?
There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so?
The split
And if
screens.
I may ask,
Drama.
what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind.
What's she getting
No,
at?
nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds
He might
or
not have
so,
been able
there was
to
a thud.
hear
One
the
so
thud.
loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
He was in a box.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
How could Lyney not know about that sound? I mean, it's a box within a box. Surely the sound insulation
Yeah,
will
I'm
be
sure
quite...
you could have heard a noise that loud
strong.
from inside the box.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
But you weren't in the box. Oh no.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
They probably represent the oratrice's stance on the trial.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye.
She's so dramatic.
Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid.
I'm like, she's so annoying. I hate her. I want to
Aren't
cosplay
you
her.
and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The what?
The House of the Hearth?
They're for Tui? Oh shit.
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes
Are they
sense.
actually for
I've
Tui?
got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an
Oh
accident.
my god. But that is very much using like value judgments
That's
on the Fatui.
irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you
Oh
could
my
tell
God.
us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes
Oh
in it.
my god. Farina, let me consult my evidence.
The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy.
That seems like a very unfair way to
Thinking
try
on
and
all
win a
those
trial.
preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Oh my gosh. I tell you what, she reminds me of Fischl.
Hey,
If Fischl actually had
why
bad
didn't you tell us this
intentions.
before?
Lyney and Lynette are Fatui. But Child is
Order!
Fatui and he's our
Order!
friend.
Mr. Lyney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true?
There's no doubt about a magician's ability to con others. Given how Lyney has concealed his identity, this could all have been set up beforehand. I have no idea what's happening. I do trust him though. Plus Child is here in Fontaine along with the other house operatives. There must be some scheme at work here. Are all the kittens in the place that they should be? 1, 2, 3. Yes. Just little a check. I've been a victim of such schemes before, and now...
Please answer my question, Mr. Lyney.
But
I'm
they're
sorry.
so nice.
Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
Oh my god, where was he? If he wasn't in the box, where was he?
I knew it.
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Can't skip steps. Permission to speak, Your Honor.
Granted.
My client has withheld some key information. My defense cannot proceed.
In that case, what is your request?
I request a brief adjournment. There are things that must be discussed.
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
Who is aggressively
The
meowing?
defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
I'm glad that
So you would stick to Mr. Lyney's defense
Neverlet
even
doesn't
after knowing
like
what you do now? You certainly
I thought
have
he was going to
more
be aligned with
professionalism than
Fiona,
I
but he
thought.
seems to actually be neutral, which is nice.
In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Jeez. While court is adjourned, you meet with Lyney and Lynette backstage in the opera house.
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon just knew where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain. I know you've clashed with the Vitui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset.
Yeah, kind of.
But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face.
Okay,
I knew if it weren't
who
for our
rules the House
respective
of the
identities,
Half?
we could become good friends.
Presumably Olacino.
That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
But how can we know this isn't all just another lie?
Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Hey Lynette, you want to say something else?
You both say that, but...
Explain the other issue first. Where did you actually go while the trick was being performed?
Right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now.
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask.
Like, where could he have gone? Other than maybe in the
We've been trying to find
vent.
out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it.
Okay.
From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box.
Okay.
So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent,
Okay.
and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
And we know for a fact that the
air
vent does
was
go to the
created during
basement.
the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
And what did you find?
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice.
That delayed reaction
It should
from
have been
Paimon.
impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came.
Okay.
On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought.
Okay, so he wasn't in the tunnel when that happened. So he
After
wasn't
that,
involved in the struggle.
The homicide occurred just as you saw.
I never thought the word homicide would be used in Genshin Impact.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
But why do you want to understand how the Oratrice operates?
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
Okay.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop
I know
you.
that there's levels of
Trevor,
evil within the
you
Fatui.
decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
I don't have a choice. I believe in the facts. I will defend you from these charges.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
Actually, we already have the key evidence we need.
Huh?
The adjournment's almost over. Let's go back.
Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
I don't. Okay, we have Lyney's statement. And the voice in the oratory's core chamber, which does suggest the presence of more people. Is there anything fun to click around this room? No. Let's go. I wonder if trials are going to be a big part of like side quests and things in Fontaine.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Lyney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
No.
Ugh, that took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Lyney's perspective.
Oh my gosh, minigame. Based on the opposition's account of events, you can identify loopholes in their statement. Use evidence and clues obtained during the investigation to refute any erroneous assertions of fact and replace them with new inferences. This is very cool. Use your refutations to convince the audience. It is truthful, it's convince the audience and obtain more support from the people that oratories will display such shifts clearly. The fact that they've built this whole minigame makes me think that trials are going to be quite a big part. When you find and refute all incorrect content, you can complete the cycle of refutation and unveil the truth. Oh my gosh.
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out,
Oh my
before
gosh.
making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Lyney red-handed. So Lyney proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Lyney passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident.
I don't know how she came to this conclusion.
And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. What Lyney experienced and what he saw.
Okay. Lyney entered the tunnel as the countdown began. I mean, he did enter the tunnel. That's wrong. No one left. He heard a voice in the chamber. The clothes. None of this evidence seems relevant. So I'll just select all of them. Yeah, okay, I can't rebut that point because that point is true. Lyney attacked Halsey. The loud sound was from Lyney and Halsey's fight, but Lyney claimed that he heard nothing in order to cover the truth up. Okay, he did not hear the thud.
According to Lyney, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
Lyney left the tunnel. Lyney knocked Halsey out. Then he heard the voice.
Lyney went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth.
So he went to the Oratrice's core. Yeah, all that Lyney saw was the young lady's clothes.
Lyney did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
Okay.
Attention!
Ace Detective Paimon.
Paimon has something to say! When the countdown started, Lyney did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room.
Paimon's presenter voice is very good.
He returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent.
Therefore. Oh hell yeah, we tip them scales. Okay, so it can be the case in that situation that you can't refute a point, because it is something that happened.
Paimon actually managed to say all that. Wasn't it awesome?
In
Bless
other
her.
words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right.
Moreover, I believe my opposition's reasoning is flawed.
My reasoning?
Yeah. The onstage equipment was clearly tampered with in a premeditated fashion. However, you say that Cal bumped into Lyney by chance.
If that's the case, then if Carol hadn't entered the tunnel,
I don't
was
think
the entire setup meant to kill?
Paimon's not
Assuming
dumb.
that what you say is
She's
true,
just very, like,
Lyney
food
only needed to
motivated and
kidnap the young
naive.
girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine. We've managed to turn things around.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident. I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims?
Do you happen to remember how you refuted Lyney's alibi initially? Yeah, because she said he wasn't in the tunnel when the thud happened. So she believes that, and that is true.
Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't.
Your claim has now become my weapon. Use the most reasonable evidence. Irrelevant. Okay. Is all of this irrelevant? Okay. Which is the evidence that Lyney wasn't in the tunnel when the crime took place? I don't know. It doesn't seem to be any of these. Entrance and exits?
Sure we don't need to give this more thought?
Okay, not that one then. Is it the missing lady's identity, or is it just the sound?
That's
The
right.
sound, okay.
Lyney wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Lyney had already entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof. How do you like that?
Well played. To think you'd use such logic.
Oh, she's shocked.
Well then, if it wasn't Lyney who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Truly some amazing angles. I've not seen cinnamon topography like this in Genshin before. The murderer was... Oh my god. Select the gear icons in the interface to check the corresponding case questions. Select answers and fill all the empty gears to verify the correctness from your deduction. If you have made mistakes, you must make another selection from the remaining options. Once you've answered all the questions correctly, you can complete this logic chain. Okay, logic. I can do logic. How did the culprit trigger the onstage accident? The guard's investigation report indicates that the fireworks released near the end of the show ignited and burned through the rope suspending the water tank above the stage. This caused the water tank to fall and kill Cal in the box below. If Lyney is no longer under suspicion, only the other members of the troupe would have been able to tamper with the props. Okay. Lyney gave a detailed account of how the trick was supposed to work by using a box inside a box. The idea was for the box containing the audience member to be transported across via a tunnel underneath, and Lyney himself would also use this tunnel to get to the other side. Having changed her outfit, Lynette and her assistant would take charge of onstage interactions. The clothes belonging to Halsey, the lady who went missing, were found in the tunnel. The reason for this remains unknown. Who was the only person who could possibly have committed the crime?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lyney's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all along? Could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility?
I think third person is probably the best option. Okay, I'm wrong. Well, the only person who could have tampered with the equipment would have been Cowell himself.
His name is Cowell.
Huh? That can't be right. Are you serious? The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased!
Oh, okay. So he would have
How
been
interesting.
planning to kill
Let's
Lyney?
hear your reasoning then.
Maybe.
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
Okay. How can we envisage Lyney as having been unable to interfere with the crime?
Lyney was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time.
How can I prove that there was an altercation in the tunnel? Where's the smashed glass?
No one entered or left the opera house through.
Smashed vase
The
even.
sound we heard may have come from a clash, but it would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent.
Okay, it would have been the sound
The
then,
sound
because
we
the
heard may have come from a
vase
clash
isn't here.
between.
Who is the prime suspect currently?
The deceased's name is
Cal.
Cowell. Lyney.
Where did the missing Halsey go? Into the vent?
It would have been tough for both people to fit
Because
into that
if
vent.
it was just her... No? What? That one's incorrect. Okay. Okay, so we don't know where she went because her clothes were
Halsey's
on the floor.
clothing was in the tunnel.
What?
No
No
entered or
one.
left the
Okay,
opera
she's
house
still in
through
the
its
building?
entrances.
What? I'm so confused. Okay. I'm doing big stretch. I hope this is scripted bad stuff. Okay. Exiting from the box would have been in full view of the audience, pretty much guaranteeing they would be discovered.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
Where in the world did Halsey go?
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff.
No, it's just impossible.
And here I thought you had something to show for it. But it seems you're still far from the truth.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track?
Okay.
Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
I know I can't let Farina
If
win.
only we knew how Halsey disappeared. Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely.
All I'm thinking is there was water on the ground. We're in the hydro
It's
region.
not like this is a magic
Maybe
trick where
they
you can just make a real life
escaped.
person disappear.
Yeah, water.
You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Magic. Escaping from the water tank. Wait. Could it have been the water?
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient? There is no greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay in the performance.
We're working on it.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Objection! Hold on a second.
Lyney was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time.
Yes.
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal.
Yes.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lyney's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
I'm glad Beans is back. Okay. The
The
water.
vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence. The water.
They traveled through the water? Okay.
Oh, Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind.
Oh yeah, that is exactly how she did it.
If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
Just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment. How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick.
I request that we examine Cal's personal effects. We might find something there.
Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Lyney already knows this truth very well. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real.
Yeah, but we
We're
live in a
talking
world
about
with
two
elemental
completely
powers.
different things.
Even so,
Oh my
I
gosh.
trust the traveler's judgment.
The kittens are fine. They just did
The
a big
truth
fall.
must be out there somewhere. Perhaps a new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
Nevertheless, I
Incorrect.
believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress.
Yes, no
Guards,
Valette.
please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased, Cowell.
After some time, a guard returns with news.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste.
Go on, Esmond. Let us
We
know.
discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea.
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice.
Illegal drugs as well?
The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times.
The primordial
One of these
pouch,
tubes
yes.
was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty.
Okay.
The
So they
notes
were
also state
dissolving
that these
something
dissolution
or someone?
properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject.
Oh, and
As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported
what's
by
it
sufficient
called?
evidence.
The prophecy says about the people
be
being
kidding.
dissolved into the
People
sea.
dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain
The prophecy!
But it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Which is the thing that Lyney and Lynette are trying to save everyone from.
If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
How did he
Let's go.
die?
Just trust me.
I'm still confused as to how he
Order,
died, unless that
order.
was just to cover his tracks.
It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some
I
surprising
love his stick.
results.
It's a good stick.
But we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Lyney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right!
I didn't mean it like that.
That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Okay. Water from the primordial sea, the liquid that the guards found in Cowell's luggage seems to have the ability to dissolve Fontainians into water. Who is the prime suspect currently?
The deceased's name
Is
is
Cowell.
Cowell.
What item did the culprit use to control the timing of the dissolution? The timing?
I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box. Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. Did she have something to do with this? The rope that strung the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and cut. As such, the focus here is on the water and not the tank.
This one? What item did the culprit use to dissolve Halsey?
The water
This?
from the primordial sea should already have been prepped before Halsey entered the magic box.
What item did the culprit use to hide the mechanism behind the crime?
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time.
Oh,
Did
I didn't
she
realize I
have
had
something to do with
spoilers.
this?
Oh, that's for the wrong game. Silly me. I need to turn off the spoilers. I'm not playing the Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood.
I remember there was something
Hiding
else.
in the box layer? Oh my, okay, the rope is wrong. Okay, is it this
Now
one?
It seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick.
Okay,
but was
triggering the
instead
okay,
some form of trick.
yes. Okay. Why is my brain so bad at figuring out these mysteries? Mysteries.
Ahem. It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again!
Hydrate,
In the
I will.
original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial
the balloons
inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowl would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover
What
his
did he
tracks.
encounter in the tunnel?
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Progress.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
Oh, the guards are back. More
On that
information?
note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Different guy.
We were just
Vaughn.
inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case. And we found an identical sample of the water from the
Oh my
primordial
God.
sea among Lyney's personal effects.
What?
That can't be.
Framing.
Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you. Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow me to present my reasoning and bring this performance to a swift close.
Oh god.
Lyney did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent.
Okay.
Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea.
She doesn't necessarily do this for a living, like she don't get paid for it, she just is the Archon of Justice. So she likes doing it, and I think she likes the attention. She is very good at storytelling, I'll give her that.
But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Lyney desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime.
I like the illustrations a lot. The fact that Lyney would punch anyone is very funny. I don't think he
Ultimately,
would.
He knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organization.
God damn it.
Am I right, Mr. Lyney?
We've used up
Mr.
all the
Lyney.
evidence we collected. There's no way for us to make a rebuttal here.
We can't rebut?
Is this the end of the road?
Oh my god.
Oh no.
No!
I can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's any way around it.
I mean, I think we do meet some characters from the prison, so I'm like, are they gonna go to prison?
This was too good a move. Why did this have to happen now?
I think we've all seen enough now, and we have ample witnesses
I am more
to
sus
my
of Lynette than I am
flawless
of Lyney.
reasoning. I believe this is indeed the finale.
Oh my god. I mean, it's not
Now
quite at
then,
4
my
yet.
good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move... Excuse me, everyone. but I
Navia!
must interject.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout, and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone
Navia.
here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes.
Oh my
Please,
gosh.
do the honors, Mr. Lyney, if you would be so kind.
What in the world is she saying?
It is pretty convenient
No
for the
offense,
evidence to
miss,
suddenly
but
appear.
miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Lyney and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf. But, as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
Oh my god.
I understand.
How has she found her? Are they gonna make her reappear?
And voila.
Oh my god, she's here.
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
So was she
To
the
be clear,
thief?
I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial.
Was I right the whole
I was
time
just
in that she
feeling
was
happy
the
that no one
thief?
had noticed me, and then before I knew it, she caught me.
If she was the accomplice,
That'll teach you
she
to
could be a
underestimate
pickpocket
us.
and plant stuff on
Where should I
people.
begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowell. I admit it.
Oh my gosh.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Lyney's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to
She
buy a
was the
ticket,
thief from the
so
beginning. I was
stole one.
correct.
That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Lyney was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief. Lyney even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me.
Okay,
He
so
even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede.
okay, so
That's a
Lyney
prison,
did choose
isn't
her
it?
on purpose
So you can
because he
imagine how
realized
shocked
that it was her.
I thought he was on to me for sure. So I played
Maybe.
along with the show while
Or it
looking
was
for an opening to flee.
the other guy.
But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down,
Okay.
so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Okay, because no one left.
Can a person even hide in there?
If they're a practiced hand at concealment, probably a professional thief could make it work.
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
Yeah, now it's time to refute the Hydro Archon's previous reasoning.
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lillian's perspective.
So many twists. Okay. Lyney entered the tunnel after the beginning of the countdown, and he left. He did not participate in the dissolving of the young woman. The fact that she's not dissolved. No, okay, I don't think this needs rebutting. Cal planned to use the prepared apparatuses for the magic tricks to dissolve Halsey inside the magic box, as Halsey has appeared completely unharmed before all of our eyes. Firena's conjecture no longer holds water. And how would Halsey have reacted when the water of Primordial Sea suddenly began to trickle in? She changed clothes. No, okay. She...
The strange sound
Okay, made a
wasn't from
sound.
fight. It was Lily Ann's attempt to break out when she was frightened.
Okay, that's fair, because she got wet. The girl burst out in fear as the water from the primordial sea suddenly flooded in. Lily Ann mistakenly thought she was about to be arrested, and so broke out of the box with immense strength, causing the loud sound. They didn't fight. Well, these two didn't fight, but a fight did break out, and the evidence would be this.
The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but was smashed during the struggle between Lily Ann and Cowell.
Now it seems Lyney and Cowell did not conspire to break the flower vase to cover anything up. They were smashed during a struggle between Lily Ann and Cowell. Lyney didn't knock Cowell out, but Halsey knocked him out. And changed clothes.
Lily Ann was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time. Just what one might expect of an experienced thief.
There we go.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time!
I love Ace Detective Paimon.
Having been selected out of the blue, Lily Ann panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lily Ann had not dissolved.
Because she wasn't from Fontaine!
He did not know that Lily Ann was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket.
Who was the accomplice, though?
Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lily Ann back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lily Ann came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box.
Go, Lily Ann.
With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
Ended. Oh. Oh my gosh. Kittens are having a zoomy moment.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the opera house these last 2 days.
Kitten cam. I barely have a good camera for my own face.
So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about
I'll have to figure out a kitten cam at some point, but we're not gonna have the kittens for an extended period of time, and Beans and Uno don't have any particular places that they like to hang out.
Bravo! Bravo!
Use that one, the one that's on my face.
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements? Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
Yes, Neverlet. She can't run away.
Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
No.
Wow. Look at that. She's like a deflated balloon now.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending
he used
the
the
water
flash
tank,
paper.
using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box, and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise.
Oh my gosh.
Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome,
And she
knocked
beat him up.
unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Lyney, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction
He still heard
of
someone
events,
else's voice
we
there,
can
though.
conclude that Lyney, the accused, is in
But
fact
that's an issue for
innocent.
another time.
While there is much in Lyney and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision.
Okay. Oratrice, what you gonna say? The way it put a ticket in is like how you make pulls on a Honkai Star Rail.
As such, Lyney and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Hell yeah. That was so stressful.
Great work, partners. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Let's not celebrate just yet.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Lyney's baggage?
Oh.
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious
Accomplice?
mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dared to bring before this court?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Lyney, but you, yes?
Oratrice, I think it's something related to like it's a short. The
I'm
Oratrice
sure
has a
you know
full
what you
name,
must
but
do to
Oratrice
lessen
would be
your
something to do with like,
Speak quickly!
as in like,
Unless you want
thing
to earn
that
yourself
speaks.
a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders.
Whose
We were
orders?
supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Lyney, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
Oh my god.
And
The,
now that your plan has fallen
guards
through,
are trying to
and the
frame
secrets
the
of the water
Fatui?
have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes?
or unless he's working for someone
Therefore,
else.
you would be wise to tell everything you know and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know.
Neverlet has a point.
Our
They would
boss
try and kill him.
discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration.
Ah, the drugs.
We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent more off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about. The...
Who? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! This Arco quest has had a lot of death in it. He turned into water.
And now he can no longer talk.
Oh my
Such
god.
ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
Less of who?
An
Because it's not the
outrageous
Fatui.
act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
Oh, the robots. I love the robots. However, nothing is found on the scene apart from the liquid left behind after Vaughn dissolved. I hope there is a good pausing point soon, because I need a wee.
So, we're just going back now?
The problem seems to have been solved for now. We're not needed here anymore.
That's true, but
Oh, we'll do some
Trevor,
investigating,
climb
don't
on.
worry.
Please wait.
Lyney.
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me. But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end, even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui.
I just didn't wish to see anyone be falsely accused.
I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight.
Uno's trying to get in the
I didn't approach you
room.
with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Lyney this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all.
Oh, I didn't
That was
realize
how
they were
Father,
orphans.
who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
The knave?
The knave.
The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
Oh, that is Arlecchino. I think.
That's right.
Fairly certain the
And
knave is
since we're
Arlecchino.
here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past. Back when our parents first died,
But I need a wee
Lynette
Lyney.
and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would
That
come
makes
from
me
for a
think that
time.
Fremine isn't their biological
But
brother.
I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days.
Oh my gosh,
But
Uno's really
I
trying to break in.
discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention.
Oh,
which
exploiting
he would then
orphans.
use
Gotta
to
love
expand
that.
his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
Hey, Paimon, no, he's still being exploited.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was.
Maybe he was
After
trying to
one
sell them.
particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me.
Oh my gosh.
I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was,
Oh my
she caught
gosh.
the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
That's horrific.
Oh no. So he was gonna... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law.
Villains. So what happened after that?
I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person, and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there in the darkness.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement.
Oh my
All of them
God.
orphans.
That's horrible.
Father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer.
That's so awful. Oh my god.
The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here,
No
none
wonder
will ever
Lynette
betray
doesn't
you.
talk much.
Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here. I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles. But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
The knave is after the Gnosis, though, isn't she? Because that's what they're all after.
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Sarita to first use the Gnosis' power when she obtains it.
Oh.
She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
Oh, shit.
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included,
Arlecchino,
are from
okay.
Fontaine.
I thought
We
it would
won't
be
give up on
Arlecchino,
defending our
but-
homeland. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
I'm sorry, but I still can't completely trust you.
It's all right. I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the house, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right.
This is way more
If you
complex
should
than
need
I thought it was
anything at all
going to
in
be.
the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Lyney.
I understand. Goodbye.
Bye, Lyney.
I mean, I understand why Lumina's pissed.
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
How did Navia know where Liliane was?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too?
Well, I'm sorry, Navia.
Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
I was really only trying to defend Lyney. I wasn't necessarily looking into the serial disappearances case.
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Huh. I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Yeah, we just got here,
say that,
and we do
Navia.
tend to get wrapped up in stuff real quick.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk to become clearer.
That's very poetic.
Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind me. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal? Well, guess you really did treat us as partners, huh?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later. Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
That's fair. My dear Bugwa, I think the kittens might be hungry. They are running very low on wet food. And maybe some milkies? Only if you're available though, just 'cause they are yelling and jumping a lot. Well, if you say so, let's go have that meal then.
You don't have to twist Paimon.
Thank you,
Boss
Bugwa.
Navia's treating. Count Paimon in.
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Bourg? I believe we'll make it
They've
just in time
eaten
for
more
dinner.
of the pate as well.
Let's have our farewell meal.
Farewell meal. Oh, okay, that's the end of the story. Interesting. Oh, okay. There's another act. Okay, I was like, what do you mean? That is the end.
I came here several times with my father when I was little, but stopped eating here as often after growing up. I hope the food here will be to your taste.
Oh, don't worry. We haven't eaten at a hotel like this in a while. Paimon's getting excited already.
In that case, I'll go order for us first. Please wait here a moment.
It does seem very fancy.
Ooh, everything
Garlic
looks
bread,
so
fish and
good.
chips.
People in Fontaine sure know how to enjoy life.
Why, of course. Go ahead, try whatever you
Lasagna.
like. If the food's good, I'll make a group reservation for the rest of Spina di Rosula next time.
And if it's not?
Well, then I'll still bring everyone. Albeit with only one dish per table.
You, sure have your own way of doing things. Oh, we called this a farewell meal, but we could also treat it like a victory feast, right? We did just win that case after all.
It's certainly worth celebrating. It was a pleasure working with you.
Oh, true. Very true. In that case, boss, we'll have another 2 dishes.
Huh? Paimon didn't mean that you had to order even more food.
The soup looks nice. Good soup.
Speaking of cases, do you think that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances will get caught soon now that this has all happened?
Oh, we're on to desserts
We've
now.
certainly taken a big step forward, but I feel that's about it. We know that there's an organization that means to dissolve these young women, but we still don't know what they are really after.
If it hadn't happened right in front of us, Paimon wouldn't have ever believed that a person could be dissolved like that.
Yeah, it was kind of horrifying.
Right? Yet it was because this was such a preposterous notion that the investigation could never really move forward before.
Ugh. If only that guy could have finished speaking. We were so close to hearing who was behind it.
In such investigations, even the smallest step can seem like a yawning chasm if the trail of clues is cut off. To be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities might conduct. It's not that I don't have faith in their ability. It's just that
She doesn't
a
trust
different
cops.
perspective is required in some matters. It's easy to guard against and deceive a single narrow perspective. A shift in thinking is required at such times in order to produce a breakthrough, which is exactly why the Spina di Rosula exist. Those highfalutin folk are not all-knowing. That's why we
Highfalutin.
exist. To seep into the cracks where filth falls through, where their watch fails them. That's the kind of problems we solve.
Okay. Interesting.
Seems Paimon thought things were simpler than they actually are.
It's all right. Well, this was supposed to be a farewell meal, so I doubt you have further interest in this business, right?
You would think
Let's
that.
talk about
And yet we are
something else.
starting a second chapter.
Like, what are your future plans?
We wanted to ask the Hydro Archon for some information, but we haven't had much opportunity to do so.
That's
Pardon
true.
me.
We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial ended. It didn't really seem like the right time or place to do it anyway.
I see. So, your primary objective, which has been foiled so far, was to have a chat with the Hydro Archon. I've heard that there's a long line of people waiting to meet Lady Farina. I suspect you'll be waiting for quite a while, considering that you missed your chance today.
Yeah, we've heard that she's super popular here in Fontaine, and that it'll be tough getting any of her time.
Well, would you consider some more, unique ways? Perhaps even methods of, let's say, questionable legality?
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's boss for you. Chock full of sketchy ideas. Well, what did you have in mind?
Well, one way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the Opera House, only to abandon your act at the play's climax and ask to speak to her after the performance. I'm sure Lady
That's too
Farina
much
would
work.
be eager to see the ending, and would agree in order to finish watching the play. Don't you think?
Could you suggest something a little more practical? This plan seems pretty hard to pull off. We'd have to go learn how to act, and acting's really hard.
All right, here's another. Find a way to conceal yourselves under her bed. Then wake
We
her
don't
up
even
in
know
the
where
dead
her
of
bed
night and
is.
demand answers. Don't let her go back to sleep until she answers all your questions. I can personally testify that this one works. When I'm sleepy, I'll do anything as long as I can finally get some sleep.
That might work, but that's not really the problem. The problem is we don't want to get ourselves arrested.
Ah, valid point. I overlooked that part. I was just thinking about leveraging a person's desire for sleep.
How can you overlook something like that?
All right, no more joking around. Huh. Perhaps you could... Oh, I don't know. Cut the line when she's on a break. You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from false accusations. False accusations she had nearly upheld personally. I imagine that she feels quite ashamed about the whole thing.
You mean that if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Oh, that does make some sense.
It's worth a try. Would someone with her personality really feel shame? Yes. We've seen her in a monologue.
Why don't we give it a try after this meal? You know, strike while the iron is hot and all.
Huh? Paimon, did you drink my Fanta?
Was this your drink? Sorry about that. Paimon wasn't really paying attention and the cup was right next to Paimon. Would you like
She keeps
to order
accidentally
another?
eating and drinking people's
No,
foods.
it's fine. We're just about done here.
Alright. Honestly, Paimon wouldn't recommend Fonta anyway. It tastes kind of salty and icky.
I'd have to agree, my drink also tasted that way too.
Is that so? Huh. Well, in that case, we'll have to blacklist the Fonta here then. If we're all finished eating, then I'll go pay.
Yeah, we're stuffed. Thanks for the treat, Navia. Oh, so full. Paimon can barely float anymore.
You could try walking, you know.
Nah, that would be so... normal. You know, like you.
Okay. As for expenses this month, we're left with...
Oh god, Navia.
Hey, Navia! What are you doing over there?
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina di Rosula can't cover.
Oh god. That was a pretty pricey meal, all thanks to Paimon.
Let's get ready to try to meet the Hydro Archon again. Bye, Navia!
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine, you're always welcome to contact the Spina di Rosula. I'll give your request the highest priority. In any case, I wish you smooth sailing. I'll see you again, partner.
See ya!
Ooh. Interesting quest start transition. They've not done that before. To the fountain! I found like no chests so far in Fontaine. Maybe they're all underwater.
There aren't many people around anymore. Looks like that boat we took to Araneas might have been the last one.
Vache.
Oh god. This again.
Looks like we're back here again. Huh? Traveler? Are you hearing voices again?
Yes, and it's clearer than it was during the day.
Ugh. That's kinda spooky. Are you sure we don't want to come back in the morning?
Vache.
Hey, why are you still walking towards it?
I can
There might
feel
be something nasty in the water.
strong emotions.
Huh? Hang on. Paimon can kinda hear a voice. It's calling for Vache, right? Hey,
Paimon can hear it?
stop walking! Come on, wake up!
God. More weird shit. Oh, hello? The ocean is? Where's this?
Vache, are you my dear Vache?
This
No,
can't remember her name.
You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vache? Do you know where my love is?
I'm afraid not. I'm sorry, who are you?
Wait. Who am I? I'm very sorry. I fear I do not know. My
There's a
memories
different
feel
voice
like
to
they
the
have
other
been
Oceanid.
washed away like a flood. So many fragments dissolved amidst the tide, never to be recovered. How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land have I since forgotten?
Oh. You were once human?
Yes, that is what I was once. But now, I am but the consciousness of one who is lost, therefore.
You lost your form.
I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water, and then all grew dim.
Oh, light blue water. Could that have been...
I also remember going to many places. I loved adventure, loved exploring places of peril. No matter where I went, Vacher would go with me. I knew how dearly he loved me. And I also loved him equally as much. But now, we can no longer go back. The pain of such parting. I never knew how heavy it could be.
We gotta find him. So you need me to find him?
No. Our reunion no longer has any meaning. There is no way for us to create any new memories. The thought of me gives him no succor. So let it lie forgotten beneath the waters.
I don't know what sucker is.
If you meet Vacher, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. That is the only thing I still remember.
I believe it will be hard for him to forget you.
Perhaps that is so. As I was submerged in the waters, losing consciousness, I saw Vacher above the surface. His eyes were filled with such sorrow, such longing.
Oh my gosh.
If only I could have comforted him. Told him that I did not suffer. Indeed, I had felt a great warmth.
That means Vacher was a witness to the fact you dissolved?
Is that what you call it? Dissolving? If anything, I consider it a form of release. It was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless peace, like the water's still surface. I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time, and only then sees how they have lived for so long in a world of endless want and anxiety.
Be right back. Okay. Remains conscious. Cool.
I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think.
Is that Paimon?
Farewell, then. I am glad that you were able to sense my presence. Remember, if you see Vacher, tell him not to seek me out any longer.
I will remember. Oh my gosh, cutscene. Excuse me? How long was I out? Oh my gosh. Is she Geo Sword or Geo Claim?
Demoiselle, look out!
The kittens are squeaking, but I don't know what they're squeaking at.
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex.
Oh.
Chlorand?
Oh, is she coming to help?
Quick, now's our chance!
Do I get to take part in any of this fighting? Oh, she's so cool. Oh my god, Clorin's shirt is literally bursting. They really went
I should
ham on the
thank
big
you
titty
for lending
ladies.
us your sword there, Clarand. But before I do so, could you explain how you managed to show up here?
I followed you. It seemed to me that danger has followed you more closely as of late.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge is actually called stalking, is it not?
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will not betray his trust.
Oh.
He would do the same, were he alive today.
Maybe she's like head of
Do
security.
not speak of my father.
Kind of like Dea was
Sorry,
for...
Demoiselle.
I
was
can't
not
remember her
strong
name.
enough.
Thank
Dea's
you
girlfriend.
for your aid, Miss Corand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech. I believe we all wish to avoid unnecessary emotional harm.
Sorry, I did not consider your feelings.
Whatever. What else do you know? How did you come to the conclusion that I'd be in grave danger?
I doubt I know much more than you, but I believe that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances is very powerful. Your performance tonight will almost certainly attract their attention.
I'm sure they've known about me. To be honest, I'm shocked it's taken them this long to act against me. And what about these Gardamex? I thought only those associated with the Maison Gardiennage could control them.
None of these mecha have serial numbers.
Oh.
I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the authorities to enforce the law. I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them via illegal means, deploying them as a private force of sorts.
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league, then?
Yes. Be careful, and do not act rashly.
I will continue investigating no matter what. We will bring the truth to light. That's my father's true last wish. Regardless, thank you for your help today, Clarand. But if you get any ideas, tell me first. I don't much appreciate being followed.
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon. So I shall stop.
I can't believe they literally designed her to have a blouse that is like bursting at the buttons. We have not seen that before.
Right. I suppose that's the best news we've gotten today.
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Corand was being sincere with you. If we tried, we could attempt to thaw relations a little.
I know, she's...
What just happened? Who was that?
Oh, thank goodness! Paimon thought we were done for!
I think Tabby is planning a strike on Cal.
While you were unconscious, and Nadia and her
From
maid
above.
saved us. Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Clarand who came out to save us too! We got lucky there. Paimon probably
So
couldn't
much
have
chaos
fought them
happening
off
at once.
otherwise.
Oh, so you're a fighter now, Paimon?
Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. Not for me, anyway. In truth, I hope that every meal we have together shall be a victory feast. As such, we're still partners. There's no need to thank me.
It will take 50 years for me to match Demoiselle's magnanimity.
Oh my
If
gosh.
it were me, I would have joined the Spina di Rosula on account of her goodwill long ago.
All right, you two. That's enough.
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in danger? You sure did show up in the nick of time.
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped
Oh
us
my
off,
gosh.
Paimon.
Huh? Really? Paimon contributed somehow? Ooh, Paimon's even more amazing than she thought!
Yes.
Paimon
all thanks to you
contributed
grabbing
somehow?
my drink by mistake.
How did that help?
Oh, were we
After
poisoned?
we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases when I suddenly thought of what you said. That the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky.
I thought it tasted strange as well, but I couldn't be sure.
Fanta only comes in sweet flavors. So how could it have tasted salty? The color of the drink, if I recall, had also been a bit
I did
off.
think that was a bit strange, because
So the
Fanta is
Fanta had been
basically
spiked with
a
water
soda.
From the primordial sea?
Yes. So if you hadn't drunk that cup for me,
Oh my gosh.
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of awards for you as we speak for saving the boss.
Huh. Really?
Fortunately, Paimon, neither of us are from Fontaine.
I sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate, but whoever did this left no trace at all. That's when I figured out that you might be in danger, and hurried here as quickly as I could.
What? Why would they go after us too? All we did was defend Lyney in court and help clear his name. Ugh, now we're caught up in this mess too, aren't we?
Well, you did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of, and almost got their name in the process.
True.
Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the primordial seawater?
Well, it can't be coincidence that the traveler fainted just now. She said that she heard that voice calling for Vache again. Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too, but it was real faint. Does this situation have to do with the primordial seawater then?
According to Lynette, the ability to hear voices like that has to do with one's sensitivity to the hydro element.
Does that mean the primordial
I don't know how
seawater
much of the
raises
crashing you
someone's
can hear in the
sensitivity
background,
to
but it is
hydro and
intense.
it's used on people who are not from Fontaine?
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
I also gained some new intel.
New intel? While you were out cold?
Well, let's hear it, shall we?
The voice in the fountain belonged to one of the missing women. A person named Vache was a witness when she dissolved.
Oh, that is important.
You tell everyone about what happened while you connected to the ocean's consciousness.
Vache. That name doesn't ring a bell. I suppose he hasn't stepped forward as a witness in court lately. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least at the crime scene. But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial seawater. Could he have been threatened?
If he's still alive, we should try searching for him.
Yes, thank you. This is very important information indeed. We will continue to investigate.
Alright, partner.
Oh, you mean you'll help us investigate?
Well, you did say that our farewell meal didn't really count. That means we're still partners, right?
Yep.
And besides, we're in this now whether we like it or not. You're not gonna let those people who targeted us get off the hook so easily, are you, Traveler?
Messing with us will cost them. This will prove to be their biggest mistake.
Demoiselle, do
we are
try
smart
not to look quite so
and powerful.
pleased. You are the face of Spina di Rosula, after all.
You talk too much. Well, in that case, let's head back to one of our bases, shall we? I'll arrange accommodations for you. We also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bonds as partners. But we'll take that one step at a time, I guess.
Don't worry.
Don't you dare attack
With
my
us
plant
around,
kittens.
Our base is definitely secure.
It's right up ahead, but let's make sure we weren't followed first.
Mm-hmm.
I've been keeping watch, Demoiselle. I haven't spotted anyone suspicious thus far.
Very good. But let's not let our guard down for now.
I shall find rooms for our respected guests.
Thank you, Malus. Now, let's continue, Traveler.
Mm-hmm. But first, shop. Let me see your wares. Do you have flour? You have wheat, which I can turn into flour. Oh, thank you. Good on potatoes and beans and almond fermented juice. This is new. Cabbage. Tomato. I feel like I'm going to be using these a bit more now that we're back in a European country. Onions, I'm good on onions, pepper, salt, I could probably do some more of. Marcotte, always good to get more of the regional specific thing. And mushrooms. There we go. That's not where they... Is this... Where did... Okay, it says it's down here. Cool. Into the underground. Oh. It's just down a hole? Rooms, you say? Is there a chest? I feel like this would be where a chest would be hidden. Alas. Okay, it's quicker to just jump down the hole. Fluve. Keeping an eye out for chests all the way. I'm not seeing any though. Oh my gosh. Ah. Fear. Oh my gosh. Secret underground. There's a lizard here. Give me the lizard. Give me the lizard. Hello. Properly underground. It's pretty cool. Kind of Les Mis vibes. I don't know why. Talking children. Some stuff going on over there. I was about to say it says there's a waypoint, but apparently that's further up. But there is one down here. Okay, there is one down here. I was gonna say it would be kind of unfair if they didn't have any underground. Ooh. Viewpoint. Land of corroded shadows and tainted currents. That sounds loaded. Raid these bins for vegetables. The legal advisor.
Know how it works.
You're an attorney? Well, I wish I could have become a champion duelist, but that's not happening in this life, I reckon. I can't fight. Like, I really can't. I'm the type who can knock herself on the head with a sheathed sword. If there's a talent I do have, that's searching. As long as the case details are clear, I can quickly find all the relevant legal something. Vitruvia. This looks like a bar. It is a bar. No, I was here to see if you had any drinks. Got any drinks?
So, this is your base? It's not quite what Paimon imagined.
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances, I can confidently say it's the best we have.
Thank you.
Well, our funds have been a little tight lately. After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us.
Seems like it's tough times for everyone. But if you have the support of the people, that does sound like it's worth it.
To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge a few years ago. I'm afraid I'm not quite his equal.
Oh, bless her.
Your father. He was the previous boss of Spina di Rosula, right? How did he...
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me to explain.
No. I'll explain it myself. I suppose I couldn't run from this topic forever. And as partners, this is something I hope they can understand. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they called Callus the Unfaithful in the streets. 3
That's
years
some
ago,
sad music.
he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor
Oh my gosh.
instead of standing trial. He died in the duelist's ring.
Oh no.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. I'm sure he was set up. At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would crop up and prove his innocence. But strangely, He not only requested the duel himself, but rumor has it that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender, determined to die in the arena.
Oh my gosh.
3 years later, I still don't understand why he did that. How could he protect his honor if he's dead? If anything, he gave up his chance to defend himself.
It does seem quite odd. Do you have any clues as to why?
The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the time of his death.
Ah, so that's why you're so determined to get to the bottom of that case.
That's right. I've also tried to investigate the murder my father was implicated in, but I haven't found a single new clue in my countless reviews of the investigation records. However, I believe that if the murder case is related to those behind the disappearances, they must know something. I must know what really happened. Was my father coerced? Framed? Even if he really did kill his friend, I must get to the truth. If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth to me.
Oh gosh.
And now, here I am investigating his death. You really are a handful, aren't you, Papa?
Seeking the truth for the sake of your family. You know, we're quite alike in this regard.
Demoiselle, please, if there is anything I can do, anything at all.
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. There are none whom I respect more than the two of you, Demoiselle. Master Callus did
I
so
suspect
much good in
that
life, yet all it took was one
Clorand,
murder case for him to be dubbed Callus the Unfaithful.
Clorand might have been the one to fight him in the dueling ring and therefore have to kill him because he wouldn't surrender, which would understand why things are kind of frosty between them.
Even our supporters
But explain,
decreased
sorry,
greatly
not
due
understand.
to that incident, hence our strained finances at present.
Wait, if Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people at least be a little suspicious when he was accused?
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. It's not something exclusive to people from Fontaine, really. Everyone's like that. People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good people fall into an abyss from one slip-up just as much.
What? How could... never mind. If Callus was really falsely accused, we have to find the truth. He didn't deserve to have that happen to him.
There is one other thing. Master
There we go.
Callus's opponent in the duel was Ms. Clorand.
Oh, her? Well, then, isn't that as good as saying that she was the one who killed him?
No wonder the mood was a little strange between the two of you.
Yeah, that's not the sort of thing that you can just let go and move on from.
Miss Clorand has always placed great emphasis on the honorable nature of the duel. If her opponent doesn't yield, she will not stop either. She knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected him, but seeing how he was resolute in the arena, there was only ever one choice she could have made.
It's not that I don't understand her at all, but I just can't deal with
That's
it.
fair.
Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how you feel. You don't have to force yourself to do that.
Afterward, Miss Clorand told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure Demoiselle Navia's safety.
Then that indicates that he intended to die in that duel.
Yes, that is our understanding
Maybe
as well.
he just thought there was no coming back from his
Oh,
tarnished
Papa.
reputation.
What madness drove you to ask the person who killed you to take care of me? All right. Anyway, that's the information I wanted to share with you. Even if it did sound like I was just complaining towards the end.
No, it's alright. I understand how important this is to you.
Thanks. You two should go and rest. This was quite a day after all.
Yeah. I want to eat.
Please, relax and get some sleep. We will ensure you rest soundly.
How will you ensure that?
whether it be responsibility for a swamp.
I wasn't trying to talk to you. Hi, GB! You're awesome too! Super Ultra Combo 2023, very cool badge.
This place feels almost too
Have you been
safe.
watching the Gamescom show?
Navia? Where did the other two go?
I sent them back to Poisson. It's Spina de Rosula's place of origin, and where we have our headquarters.
I still can't
There's
believe
not
they
much for them to do here at the
named a
moment.
place in Fontaine Poisson, as in literally just fish.
But never mind that. When did you get back? Were you waiting here the whole time?
No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did some investigating yesterday regarding the name Vacher.
Wait, so you didn't sleep at all?
I'll be catching up on Twitter for Gamescom stuff I'm actually interested in as well. I'm mostly, I mean, someone from my work is there, so people have been talking in the group chat during the stream. But I think the new Hoyoverse game that they're working on currently, so the same people who make Genshin and Honkai, is Zenless Zone Zero. I believe they had quite a big part, so I'll be interested to see that.
How could I after having such critical new evidence appear?
Guess Paimon wasn't speaking for everyone just now, huh?
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. It doesn't seem to have a match anywhere. I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation
that would have been
from
cool,
this angle.
GB.
But that does prove that this Vacher person is a key witness in the incident.
Does that mean we're too late, though?
Just means we have to dig deeper.
There is one ray of hope. One place in Fontaine that they would find almost impossible to threaten, no matter how much they wanted to. And that is the archives kept by Chief Justice Neuvillette.
Oh, hell yeah,
Place where
Neuvillette.
detailed files on all the cases in recent years are kept. If the
Oh my gosh.
Osea you met is one of the young women who went missing recently, we should be able to find some related information there.
Hell yeah, let's go seek out Neuvillette's library.
Case files? Whew. Guess that's the hard-working Chief Justice for you. In that case, let's go talk to him, shall we?
Neuvillette. Neuvillette.
Aren't you coming along, Navia? Did you get tired?
No, it's nothing. Let's go see the Honorable Chief Justice.
Oh. Kittens are playing and fighting again. Mermaid Palace. Oh my god. I fidgeted so hard I dropped my fidget cube. Go to the Chief Justice's office. But I want to look around and see if there's any hidden treasure.
Halt! Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with official matters.
One of the little babies.
This place does look pretty heavily guarded. Guess that proves that Neuvillette's files are really secure.
Don't make me stealth.
don't you
I'm so
recognize
bad
us?
at stealth.
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rules make no exceptions.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep. Paimon can tell.
If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy, so please leave if you don't have a reason to be here.
I love Sedan.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at the trial of the great magician Lyney.
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird. You must be Lyney's attorneys. It's all coming back to me now.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can trust us.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just inside.
Bless
Thanks so
Sedan.
much.
They tried so hard to do their job. they only just peek over the desk. That's so cute. Knock, knock, knock.
Please come in.
Neverlet. Neverlet, we have information.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Nervalet. We only lied to get in because we didn't know any other way.
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
He's so nice. I was expecting him to be so stern and awful.
We're looking for a man called Vache. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
He's so cool.
Who knew that Nervalet would be so easy to talk to?
He's just a chill guy. Who may or may not be an otter or a dragon.
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vache has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several years. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
So we're back to square one.
Traveler, what if it was really just a dream?
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette. We'll take our leave now.
Ahem.
Why did he
Miss
ahem?
Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret his passing.
And what are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just express some tendril of regret? No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. You only said those things because you felt like you should.
Maybe he's a robot.
It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear. If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you call a stop to the duel? Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die, despised and hated by all?
This is so much heavier than most
hanging
Genshin
on a
stories, I
thread
swear.
At that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So many questions he still owes me answers to. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart and never say a word to anyone. It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express anything. Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice. My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Damn. Damn.
Navia, are you okay?
I'm fine. Rain. It's raining.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today.
It's the Tears of the Hydro Dragon.
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder, it was also raining.
It's the Tears of the Hydro Dragon, and the Hydro Dragon is never let rain.
What is it? Did you think of something?
Your father's case, was he outside when it happened?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think the rain could have affected the crime scene? That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value.
But there was something you didn't know at the time. The dissolving water!
Oh? Wait. You don't mean...
The fact that people can be turned into water.
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water? And then got washed away with the rain? Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained what he saw to the authorities.
I really think I found a true genius for a partner. You're completely right. How did I not connect the dots earlier?
Because you're too emotionally involved in the
Let's
case.
go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind, we'll get to the bottom of my father's case for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna make progress for sure this time.
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself later?
You can go first. I'll join you later.
Alright, then I'll wait for you at Poisson.
Because I would like to end the stream. Thank you so much everyone for joining me for this next chapter of the Fontaine story quest. While we get rained on. I am really enjoying this so far. I forgot that this story quest had 2 chapters, so we will come back to that in a later stream. I will schedule it soon. But yeah, that's it from me for now. You're all great. Thank you so much for joining. Peace.